let us proceed to Season 2, Episode 6. And whereas I have been sort of happily praising this season so far for being very low stakes, very chill, travel montages, no big drama, like a few cool action scenes and things like that. Everything's been cool. Everything's been fine. There hasn't been a lot of drama or trauma. This is the first frame of Episode 6. And I don't know. I feel like I'm sensing a minor shift in tone here from these opening screens, like with a peaceful fantasy countryside saying 32 years after the death of Himmel the hero or whatever. This feels maybe this feels like it's gonna get a little worse in this episode, which is fine. Anyway, if you joined at episode 6 just to see me run into the episode where shit gets fucked, you may not be familiar with how we do things around here, because I am not going to play you a whole bunch of anime footage on screen. I know it's a reaction to the episode, but I'm not actually going to show you the episode for the most part because of, copyright and things. Instead, I'm going to ask you to have your own copy of the episode open on your computer, and you're going to use the little subtitles. You'll get a little box with subtitles. You'll get a timestamp up in the top left corner that'll help you navigate around, and I will count us in. I'll say 3, 2, 1, go. We'll both go. And then occasionally I'll be like, oh shit, I need to yab about that. At which point I'll say 3, 2, 1, pause. And then I'll do my yapping. I'll scrub around a little bit. I'll go back and forth and do things. Then we will return. I will return to exactly the point we left off. And then we'll continue from there. Right? That's pretty much how it goes. It's inconvenient for you. It's convenient for me because this is not a channel where I want to make too much of an effort, frankly. But if you want the more convenient version of this, either come along, join chat, say hi to the freaks and weirdos that hang out on the Discord chat while I stream these things live there, or else become a member of the channel and use some convenient ways to watch my reactions that are a little bit less fiddly on your part. Those do exist, and members get access to them. Otherwise, just load up your copy of the episode, settle in, and let's see how everything is about to be awful, I guess. 3, 2, 1, go. That's probably fine. That's probably fine. Yeah, there come the heroes. They're gonna save them. Maybe not. Well, at least the bird got away. Anyway, time to listen to the nice opening. It is definitely that thing of like an anime with the most heart-wrenching episode ever, and then the ending is like din 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 din. A little bit the same with the opening here. It's like horrible slaughter and trauma, and then da 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 da. A demon-slaying request. Well, I can see why they would want... Hey, hang on, you look familiar. That's a lot of corpses. Hey, another familiar face. Yeah, Fox Metro, we've been over the... His hometown, jeez. Oh, hey, that guy survived. Well, for a given value of survived. Yeah. Yeah. That was a well done scene. Basically just letting him pass on with some hope in his heart. That's a good way to demonstrate that the man is, for all his coldness, right? That there's a heart in there, which is a good thing to reestablish since it's been a while since we saw him. 3, 2, 1, pause. That's a good way to demonstrate his kindness. That there is a heart, right? What about the others? He gives him that look, and then he starts to lie, right? Everyone's safe. You'll be okay. And you see the hand slacken because that's the moment when he passes on. He knows he's about to die, right? And so rather than tell him, yeah, everyone's dead and everything's awful, just tell him something comforting as he slips away. And even when, that's the other thing I quite liked, the other little move, even when we see the poor dude, right, start to slip off his shoulders, it's a corpse now. You could let it drop, or you could let him drop and then carry him in some other way. He readjusts, right, and grabs and holds on to the man as he talks through, right? And we get this little move. Right? You see that? Just the little... As he's talking, like... Because he starts by lying, right? Everyone's safe. She's a mage. She'll heal your wounds. Everything will be fine. And then he dips into the actual connection he has with him, which is the bread, right? Have you gotten any better at baking? I've only been eating a cold, hard bread. It'd be nice to have something fresh. It doesn't have to be fresh. I'll take unsold leftovers or loaves like your old failures, right? Which is this... It's kind of a heart-wrenching thing. Because even as he's so monotone, right? And his affect is so dead. And he seems so cold. What he's saying is, I'd give anything to go back, right? And he's talking to no one. The guy is dead. At this point, he's not talking to the man anymore. He's talking to himself. It doesn't even have to be fresh. It's okay if it's shitty bread. I'll take unsold leftovers or loaves like your old failures. I'm not picky. Just come back. That's the unspoken part, right? It's this wish. That this hadn't happened or that he could have done something. It's sorrow. It's very well expressed. Like, and it's the physical acting that really does it. The dialogue alone could have sold it, but it's that little act of when the guy slips, because he's holding on, right? When the guy, he's dead, man, right? He's dead. He's never coming back. It's over. So when the man is about to slip away from him, he readjusts and says, don't go yet. Because when he says all of this, he's not just lying to the dying man to spare his feelings, he's lying to himself, right? He's also talking through what he himself wish would have happened instead. It's the physical acting of it. That tension, right? Like where you can see it doesn't have to be fresh. It could be unsold. It could be loaves. Just come back, right? That he's grasping on tighter and tighter. Right? So you get the sense of the duality of the character, right? Because all of that guy's outside affect, all of Genau's outside affect is cold, stone cold, unfeeling, right? No emotional expression to him whatsoever. But the acting demonstrates, right? His physical acting, his behavior demonstrates his care. That he actually cares very fucking deeply. Thank you very much. And you can see that as well here, right? It's a corpse. It's a dead body. It cannot be hurt anymore. But how does he lay him down? With such gentleness. He cushions his head with a hand. And then slowly, like he's putting down someone who's just sleeping, right? Slowly pulls his hand back. And then that gesture. Just brushing his hair to the side. Like he wants to see his face a little bit better. Or again, as though he's just sleeping. Talking about the bread and like, I won't get to eat the bread anymore. It's not about the bread, right? Like, we understand. It's just like, yeah, like the bread, but the bread is synecdoche for something else, right? Like the bread is, it's not about the bread, it's about grief, right? I won't get to see this guy anymore. I won't get to hear from him or talk to him or listen to him or bullshit him or carry him, right? That's a short scene, but holy shit, that communicates a lot. Anyway, yeah, no, jarring shift in tone from the last episode, absolutely. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, two, one, pause. Okay. We recognize that spell a little bit, don't we? The way this shot is framed, the POV shot, yeah, I don't think that kid was just your friend necessarily, huh? It's a shot they've used before, by the way. In kind of a similar situation. The priest, can't remember his name. The priest and his friend, air quotes, Sign, yeah. If you remember those flashbacks, they did the same thing with Sign, the sort of more emotionally constipated and like slightly dour, sitting in the shadow, but looking out at someone a little bit more open about their feelings who's out in the light. It's a repeated motif, like shadow and light. And someone being someone else's source of sunshine. And like, yeah, they were kids, so who knows, but you could certainly interpret that as more than just, oh, that's a kid from my village that I used to know. platonic or romantic, you could see it either way, which would go some way towards explaining why that particular corpse was something that he held onto so tight, even when everything else about him. And you get in the dialogue here, right? If anyone has to die, it should be the first class mages like us who chose to walk this path, right? Which gives us some insight into his motivation as well, I think. That part of why he's so fixated on being a first class mage is because in his rational mind, right, he wants that to be a trade that he can make. Like, I chose to do this. I chose to become a first class mage. If I die, then it's fine. Right? That's a price that I have decided to pay. Whereas the random vicious violence against his community, his home, his friends, maybe more than his friend, that's something that touches him in a very different way. That is it's been less than 10 minutes in the episode. That's very effective. Very effective storytelling. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, I bet there was bloodlust in that spell. Yeah. Yeah, it is Stark. Once again, we return to these questions about demons. Three, two, one, pause. The heart tag is back. So we've gone over it already, but it is this question about demons, right? And the representation of them within frieren, of why do they do the things that they do, right? And it is that thing of like, as far as we've seen of the world building so far, and the manga I know like does some more stuff further down the line. As far as we've seen so far, it is demons are functionally boogeymen, right? They are functionally the things that go bump in the night. They are the scary stories. They are a kind of fae, basically, right? They are creatures that have a function and which pursue that function with relentless efficiency, right? They will lie, they will cry, they will pretend, they will like say anything, do anything, play on human emotions, play on empathy, so long as it allows them to more efficiently kill humans. And they don't seem to really, like, as was pointed out in the church scene, demons eat people, but that's not why they kill, right? They kill because of that is just what demons do, right? They are an antagonistic force that has no reason and which obeys, like, or rather, which does not obey a logic that is comprehensible to a human mind, right? And it is that thing of, like, as we've talked about, that is imagery. That is a thematic representation of evil, which is very well suited to certain forms of politics, as we've talked about, right? Like, it is a thing that, like, it is not a surprise that the far right have tried to latch onto frieren as a bit of fandom, because it is a kind of world building that allows them to very easily project their own, you know, ethnic supremacist or other bullshit into it and say, yeah, see, because the demons, they're like the people that we hate. The people that we hate, they're like that. And, like, whether that's Jews or queer people or black people or fucking whatever it is, like, it is a representation of evil which lends itself very easily to those kinds of appropriations. And it just is one of those things that frieren cannot get away from. It is inherent to the world building that interpretation is open. What I'm bringing it up again because I'm curious, like, I know, because I haven't read frieren, I haven't read the manga ahead. I know that at some point the manga does engage a little bit more deeply with demon characters and tries to get into their heads a little bit to try and elucidate what's going on in there and why they might be the way that they are. But I cannot envision a way in which there really isn't a way to counter that aspect of the world building. Like, I don't know that there is a narrative way to escape that particular coding problem, right? Because the way that the demons are presented, it's like, that can code for an awful lot of things. And I don't know that there is a narrative way to really escape that. Like, I think the world building is in that sense unfixably compromised, right? And again, that's not to say that frieren is in and of itself inherently like a fascist show, or that the author is fascist or whatever, just that this is something that's inherent to these genre conventions of fantasy. This is something that's true also, like, as I've said, Lord of the Rings, it's something that's true of any fantasy story where they're just, oh yeah, there's a certain kind of person which is sentient and sapient and intelligent, but they're just evil by their nature, and they can never be a part of society because they are just evil, and they will just do evil things and be evil and be bad, and you have to destroy them. They have to be eradicated to secure a future for ourselves and our children. Like, it is something it's not just a frieren problem, it's a problem that the fantasy genre itself struggles with a lot, right? And it's part of the reason why these criticisms don't get brought up so much when you're dealing with like isekai slop or whatever is like you don't expect isekai slop to think very tightly about these. Like isekai slop is the kind of genre where it's like, oh yeah, slavery, sure, like the hero can just buy a slave and she'll be like, oh my god, I'm so happy to be a slave to you, I want to be your slave forever, and the story can just kind of roll with that because it's not, we don't expect this shit to think deeply about anything it does. Not to say that those storylines are like okay because of that, but just in the sense of like generally we don't really bother to outline all the problems with that every single time it happens because it's like, yeah, no, this is porridge brain nonsense, right? Like it isn't thinking very deeply. The difference with frieren is that it is a show that's thinking very deeply. It is a show that is thematically complicated and which tries to interrogate its own premise, right? The whole premise of frieren is essentially an interrogation of the fantasy genre, right? Because it's, hey, what happens after the hero's party defeats the Demon King, right? Like that alone is already like an interpretive re-examination of a very particular fantasy trope. And so the fact that we have the demons and they are just kind of presented as is, and it is not interrogated, that trope remains unexamined. It just stands out, you know? It's just one of those things that the more I see it, my brain keeps going, surely at some point they have to address it though, right? Like at some point there has to be a plot beat where they actually where they try and talk about, okay, what do the demons represent to you, frieren? Like the frieren, the story. What do the demons represent in the narrative context of your thematic universe then? Because as it seems, the demons are just evil, right? They represent abstract evil, right? They represent the very concept of evil, essentially. Which, okay, that is what it is as it is. And I don't think frieren is trying to code for anything outside of that. It is just one of those things that, yeah, I can feel myself be uncomfortable with it. Because of that's just inherent to the damn thing, and I'm probably gonna have to talk through my feelings about this a few more times before the show is over. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Oh, that's interesting. That's grim. Interesting, like, yeah, death care is an interesting part of the logistics. Lovely sleeping pose, frieren. Method. Or metode. Yeah, please just tell us. Oh, Zoro in shambles. Zoro jealous as fuck. 4 blades. Okay, not much happened in this episode. Well, I mean, something horrible happened. All set up, huh? I guess the confrontation with that demon will be... Well, I don't know how many episodes there are in the season. I believe it's shorter. 10 episodes. Okay, so they're setting up that as like the boss fight. We're building up that specific demon to be like a boss fight confrontation, which, interesting. Especially given... Yeah, it's gonna be one of those, like... in the sense that, like, there's no enmity, right? It's not... This is not like a boss monster that has built up, like, a reputation or relationship or a presence in the story prior to now. That demon was introduced this episode, and we have 4 episodes to establish it as a villain that's, like, satisfying to defeat. So its defeat is going to have to be about something other than, like, the personal achievement of overcoming it. And it looks to me like what they're setting up is specifically, like, genau. They're setting up specifically genau, which, again, very funny name to give to a character. Ja, genau. Yeah, das ist mein Name. Genau. But they're setting up specifically for genau to have a very personal investment. This little shot here was gorgeous too, by the way. Frieren's little magic circle somersault through the window. Beautiful. They're setting up genau specifically to have, like, the personal connection. Like, he has the personal drive for vengeance, right? It means something personal to him. The question I guess I have is, what about Methode? Like, what is her connection to this? What is her thematic relationship to this particular police action, I guess it technically counts as? And what is the demon going to be in this context? Like, what kind of evil is it going to be? Again, there's that question of, why do demons do the things they do, which doesn't seem to have a satisfying answer, right? Which, again, could be part of the point that, like, evil... You don't get satisfying answers from evil all the time, right? This is something that's true in the real world as well. It's like, occasionally, there will be horrible people who do horrible things, and horrible things that happen, and there isn't a satisfying answer. There isn't a sad backstory. There isn't a scientific or philosophical rationale. It's just... It's something that is done because it is possible to do, right? And you do get this a lot with... Like, you see this dynamic... occasionally in oppressive regimes where there are people, like, whose humanity is so dulled and is so gone from the circumstances of that they will do cruelty just to do it. Which Season 1 occasionally flirted with the idea of drawing a parallel between demons and elves. Right? Not a lot, and I don't think it committed to it. But in the sense that, like, elves are so dissociated from the world in the same way. Like, they're so dissociated from the human experience, right? Like, because to an elf, a human is a very brief thing, right? A human is this shadow passing through the world that barely exists, right? Because they live for 80 years and then they're gone, which is nothing, right? Like, frieren had Himmel just pass away out from under her, and didn't even realize until it was way too late that his life actually meant something to her. And that demons have displayed that same apathy towards human beings. That these are, like, that human beings are not worth consideration as moral objects, right? Like as things that matter in any way. Yeah, we kill humans because of kill them, we eat them, whatever. Why shouldn't we? They exist. We can do it. So why, like, this apathetic disconnect from any sense of empathy, community, or connection. Season 1 flirted a little bit with drawing a parallel between that and, like, that a demon essentially was, what if an elf was evil? Like, what if an elf was so disconnected, was so away from it, was so incapable of seeing briefer lives as valuable or meaningful? And frieren specifically is brought out of that by Flamme and by Himmel. Which, like, would also allow for a comparison with Siri, right? Like, the callousness of her apparent disconnection from the human condition. I don't know that the show is willing to commit to that. I don't think it will commit to it. But it is that thing, like, because there is such an uncomfortable premise baked into the way that the demons are presented, I keep wanting the show to examine them somehow. I keep wanting the show to provide some kind of explanation for them, some kind of, like, at least a rationale that I can understand them, right? Like, that I don't have to find compelling or good, but where I can go, okay, so that's why they feel it's okay to do. And so far, the story has denied it, right? So far, the story denies the whole concept of there being a justification, which, again, that's frustrating, but it's not untrue emotionally of how it is to live with evil in the real world. Sometimes you just don't get answers, and there's no, like, and you cannot delay action to seek answers all the time. Yeah, I don't know. And I like that frieren has the balls to make me uncomfortable. That's another thing. Like, again, isekai slop, part of the reason why it's slop is because is because a lot of them just don't have the balls to ever introduce friction to the audience. Because they're power fantasies, they're wish fulfillment fantasies, right? So everything is like, yeah, all the girls want to jump on your dick, and you have all of the abilities, and no one can actually hurt you, and everyone thinks you're the coolest guy ever, and you win every fight, and everyone always comes around to seeing your way of things. Like isekai slop wants you to be comfortable all the time, right? Isekai slop wants you to sink into, like, this warm bath of, like, just, everything's for me, everyone's jerking me off, everything's good, I'm being massaged from every angle. That's the mind space that isekai slop sort of occupies. Again, I am a mark for that shit, but I have a critical opinion of it. Frieren is willing to make me uncomfortable, which is another thing that makes me very interested in the show. I don't know that I ever want to do a video essay about frieren, just because I anticipate the comments and I don't want to have to deal with them. But I do appreciate that it has the balls to make me uncomfortable. That's not nothing. Anyway, let's move on.